Who killed the Neanderthals? The full story. Imagine surviving ice ages, hunting mammoths with your bare hands, and outlasting every predator Europe could throw at you for 300,000 years. Then you vanish. No meteor, no flood, no single villain. So what happened to the Neanderthals? Buckle up, because this story has more plot twists than a Netflix thriller. First, let's kill a myth. Neanderthals were not stupid cavemen dragging their knuckles around. These people had brains bigger than ours. They buried their dead. They made jewelry. They survived temperatures that would end most of us before breakfast. They were built like tanks, short, stocky, pure muscle, designed by evolution to dominate cold environments. For 300,000 years, they were Europe's apex species. So how do you wipe out something that tough? Turns out, you don't need a single knockout punch. You just need a lot of small cuts. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Neanderthals were always on the edge. Their total population? Probably never more than about 4,000 breeding individuals at any given time. That's fewer people than a small-town high school. The Neanderthal population was this many people spread across all of Europe. When you're that few, everything becomes dangerous. One bad winter, one disease, one group that fails to find mates, and suddenly a whole region goes dark, permanently. Scientists now believe that even without any outside threat, Neanderthals were a species running on fumes. The math was never in their favor. Around 40,000 years ago, Europe's climate went absolutely haywire. We're talking temperature swings of 10 degrees in a single generation, forests disappearing, prey animals migrating to places Neanderthals couldn't follow, and then boom, one of the largest volcanic eruptions in European history, ash blanketing the continent, food chains collapsing. Now imagine you're already a species of 4,000 people spread thin across a continent, and the world starts falling apart around you. But here's the twist. Climate alone doesn't explain it, because Neanderthals had survived ice ages before, many of them. Something else showed up this time. About 45,000 years ago, a new species walked into Europe. Us, Homo sapiens, taller, leaner, and arriving in numbers. Now, here's what's interesting. There's no evidence of some epic war, no battlefield, no massacre site. This wasn't a movie. It was worse. It was economics. Modern humans were better at exploiting scarce resources, better at networking between groups, better at adapting when the environment shifted. But here's where the story gets really interesting. They didn't just compete, they got together. Yeah, Neanderthals and Homo sapiens had children together. We know this because you watching this, if you have any ancestry outside Africa, you carry 2 to 3% Neanderthal DNA right now. But here's the cruel math. Gene flow was mostly one-directional. Neanderthal genes flowed into the much larger Homo sapiens population. Almost nothing flowed back. So over 10,000 to 30,000 years, Neanderthals didn't get wiped out. They got diluted, absorbed, swallowed by a population that outnumbered them 10 to 1. It's like pouring a cup of coffee into the ocean. The coffee doesn't disappear, but you'll never taste it again. And there were even more factors stacking against them. Disease. Homo sapiens may have carried pathogens Neanderthals had zero immunity to. Think what happened to indigenous Americans after 1492, but 40,000 years earlier. Inbreeding. With so few individuals, some Neanderthals were born to parents as closely related as half-siblings. That means weaker immune systems, lower fertility, more infant deaths. Cultural isolation. Neanderthals lived in tiny territories with almost no long-distance trade or communication. When one group collapsed, there was no backup coming. Every single one of these factors alone, survivable. But stack them all together over thousands of years, By 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals were retreating south. Their world was shrinking. The last known Neanderthals clung to the edges, caves in Gibraltar, pockets of southern Europe. And then, around 34,000 years ago, silence. No dramatic last stand, no final battle. Just a species that had survived everything for 300,000 years, finally running out of road. But here's the beautiful thing. They're not entirely gone. Every time you fight off a cold, thank your Neanderthal DNA. Some of their immune genes are still protecting you today. Their legacy is literally in your blood. The Neanderthals didn't lose because they were weak. They didn't lose because they were stupid. They lost because the universe stacked every possible disadvantage against them, all at once. Small populations, unstable climate, a competitor species arriving in overwhelming numbers, diseases they'd never seen, and the slow, invisible erosion of interbreeding, death by 1,000 cuts, 300,000 years of survival, undone not by a single enemy, but by everything, all at once. If you want a completely new perspective, hit that subscribe button right now. Join a community that questions the obvious. Let's change how you see the world, one video at a time.